All right, hold on. I am struggling. I am having a struggle here. There we go. Okay. Now we are good. Okay.
How many streamers does it take to make podcast?
Apparently more than 2 because I'm struggling there for a second.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
First, I want to say how cute we are with our matching teacups.
Aren't they adorbs?
They are super precious. I am loving these. We are so cute.
I know. I know.
I don't
Yours
drink
is
tea.
a
I
little
drink
milky.
coffee, but that's okay.
I
Still
love
the
my
same
tea.
thing.
Amazon.
Amazon is great for that. All right. Well, hello.
Get started.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and listening. This is our very first episode of our podcast, which is Grab a Cup of Tea. Basically just discussing different, topics on Twitch and in the gaming world and important things that a lot of, people, especially females, are too afraid to talk about or, not willing to talk about.
Going through a lot. People are going through a lot and they don't they're afraid to talk.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So just want to start it out with a trigger warning. We may be talking about things that may trigger you. Harassment, bullying, sexism,
racism, etc.
racism.
Yes. So if those are triggers for anybody, just a fair warning. Those are things that we will be talking about on this podcast.
Yay. Okay.
I guess we could just start with intros, kind of, and explain who we are and why we're doing this.
Yes. And I also want to point out that we are recording this on Twitch. It will be later put on Spotify and other podcast platforms. So we will not be interacting with our chats today.
Yes, just a fair warning.
But you can submit questions to us, and we'll put the links.
Yes.
We'll put the links below. And they are all anonymous.
Yes. So if you guys do have questions or comments or want something, a topic for us to talk about or discuss, just put that. I think we both made a command in our Twitch chats, ! Questions. I think both of ours are the same. So, and it'll take you to that link if you want to give us topics.
Yep. And we have members of our mod team and staff that are going through those. We're not actually looking at them. So
they're going to be handpicked. But yeah, they're anonymous. So feel free to ask questions that you guys are like too afraid to ask, publicly, if that's how you feel. But I mean, also it doesn't have to be anonymous. So
yeah, you can tell us who you are, and comments as well, and comments as well. And we will link that in the podcast as well. Okay. Yeah. So Kaity.
Yes. Hello. Hi guys. My name is Kato, or Kaity. I am a Twitch partner. I have been streaming on Twitch for about 5 years now. I've been a partner for, I want to say, about 3 years. And I'm here to talk about my experiences with harassment. I think a lot of people know by now. It's become so public with the articles written about me and whatnot. The stories, my story and what I've been through, and my own personal experience in dealing with somebody who would not leave me alone. And basically just a short little tidbit about myself and that situation is within a year of streaming, I had this man come into my stream and start harassing me and leaking my personal information, my address, my phone numbers. Well, at the time, what he thought was my personal information. A lot of it was correct, but a lot of it was also incorrect. Him mass whispering people all of my information, him just, coming in and doing anything that he possibly could to make my life miserable and the people in my stream's lives miserable as well. And just this year, I finally was able to take control and make progress towards a resolution with that and better myself in my stream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll go next, and I'll kind of piggyback off of that. I knew Kaity before all of this. I think we were just acquaintances on Twitter. You find that you are quote unquote friends with people on Twitter, but you really don't know a person. You may see their tweets and whatnot. But my name's Sunny. I am a full-time Twitch streamer. I stream World of Warcraft pretty much primarily. I am not a partner yet. Maybe one day I'll be a partner.
Soon, hopefully.
Soon, hopefully. Who knows? I submitted my application yesterday. You're watching this.
Good luck.
Thank you. So I recently quit my job to be a full-time streamer, but I've been harassed a little bit. I've had the trolls. I've had people come into Discord and say, words that probably shouldn't be said on Twitch and in life in general, things that you shouldn't say. And things like that made me feel like I needed to stop streaming, or I was scared. And I look back on that and I go, man, that's not bad compared to what you have had to endure for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then I had a cancer scare in October, and I was going through a lot of health issues. But I had just applied for partnerships, so life was good. I had a tumor removed. And then that's when this man, Kaity's harasser, started targeting me. And that's kind of when my life started a little bit going downhill. I'll say that. I mean, my mental health was horrible, but he, like Kaity said, he was doing pretty much the same things to me, but in a smaller window. It was only a few months, but I can't imagine what she had to endure over 5 years. And
I feel like sometimes that might almost be like worse though, because my harassment was spread out over 5 years, but it was like a gradual thing. It sort of like built up over time, whereas yours was just kind of like full swing, comes right at you. That's kind of, it's different, but I mean, both dealing with the same stuff. It's crazy.
And I did, and this is kind of not a warning, but I mean, if you have friends out there that are going through harassment, I saw Kaity's tweets or her ask for help. I mean, she asked for help. And I think at the point when he started harassing me, you were kind of like, nothing's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Had you lost faith?
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, it's been almost 5 years that I've been, harassed, especially within the last year being the absolute worst of it. And over the course of those 5 years, I called the police multiple times. I went down to my local police station. I even went to the FBI in San Francisco, and I got to talk to like an FBI agent at one point. And they said that they would do something, but I never heard from them ever again. It was like, that was just it. And at this point I had called, my local police department had told me, hey, there's not really anything that we can do. Like, you need to take this up with his police department. There's literally nothing that we can do. So I had been calling the Canadian police, and they were just not helping me. They were saying, there isn't anything we can do. I'm sorry. Like, he's not breaking any laws. He's not, well, to them, they were saying he wasn't breaking any laws. Canadian laws, I guess I should say, since the laws are different between, the US and Canada. And basically they said, just get off the internet, get a different job. So to me, that was super heartbreaking. I was over. I was like, I'm never going to get this resolved.
Get off the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Get off the internet. They said, get a different job. And it's like, I told that police officer that specifically told me that, I told him back, I said, well, why don't you get a different job? Can you just up and get a different job? I said that to him. I swear on my life, I said that to him. I said, why don't you get a different job? Clearly you're not doing yours right. I was not gonna lie, towards the end there, when I wasn't getting any resolution, I was a little bit snippy with them. I'm not gonna lie. because it's like after 5 years and then just hearing the same things over and over again and then not getting any help towards it.
You kind of lose your mind a little bit.
Absolutely.
You kind of go like maybe manic, but like
I would say so a little bit. I was having meltdowns, like mental breakdowns almost every night, crying to my family and my loved ones and my friends and just saying, I don't know what to do. Like, do I stop doing this? Do I find a different job? Like, I love this. I want to pursue it. And that's the crazy thing about streaming on Twitch, is that people don't really talk about this kind of stuff. When people look at Twitch streamers, you look at like the top streamers like Pokimane and Ninja and all these people, and you look at them and people think, I want to do that. That looks like so much fun. I want to be that. I want to do that. And of course, there's a bunch of different struggles that go into being a Twitch streamer. Of course, like people talk about
especially
the basic
big ones.
Yes, absolutely. The basic struggles that people find, you know, that people talk about are, you know, not growing or trolls or, you know, finding a schedule. There's little issues that people talk about, but the bigger ones that people don't talk about is being safe, your safety, being a live streamer, putting yourself out there for other people to get a window into your life of what you are doing in your day-to-day, and the safety around that. And people don't really talk about that. I feel like I don't see any big streamers talking about that.
There are things that I think I could have done better, that in hindsight, you know, hindsight's 2020,
of course,
but I realized that I was not safe. I let my information be out there. You know, with him, how did he find your name? Because your name, your name was not out there.
Sorry about that. I had to cough. Yeah, so basically my name, and this is what I'm talking about, like people not talking about this, is that when I first started streaming, it was 2016, I want to say 2016. So back then, you know, Twitch was still not new, but it was not as mainstream as it is now. Everybody knows what Twitch is now. Back then, I told people they had no clue what Twitch was. So I didn't really take it upon myself, you know, to really, you know, dive into the internet and find what I could find about myself. I started but yeah, I didn't think why would I need to do that? I just make an alias. No one's gonna, like, people aren't weird. Like, people respect people. Like, I've never met anybody like this in real life who's crazy like that, you know? So I just made an alias. I signed up on PayPal and I was good to go. Now, the thing is, when I made a PayPal account, I was like, I should not put my real name. That was the thing that I thought to myself. I should not put my real name, because, you know, if people donate, I don't want them to get my last name like that. I was aware of that, you know. At that point I was 20 something years old, so I had an idea of like what I shouldn't do, and I think most people, you know, should be smart enough to know that. But I mean, there's some people who, you know, might not know that when people donate to you, it shows your name on your PayPal. It shows your name and your email. So I had made this PayPal account, and I made the first name Twitch. No, I made the first name Kaito and then the last name Twitch. Like, that's what I actually put on the PayPal account. Like, first name, legal first name Kaito, legal last name Twitch. Because I was like, oh, this is fine. Until he donated to me and charged me back. He got my email address from there. And from there, he looked up my email address and got my real first and last name, I believe, is how he did it.
And you mean the harasser?
The stalker harasser. Yeah. So he had done that. He got my first and last name by just looking up my email, basically, when I did that.
So he just reverse searched your email
and found all my information from that. Yeah, exactly. And what he had done was he charged me back so many times that it put like a notice of suspicion on my PayPal account. So my PayPal account got locked, and I had to call PayPal, and I said, hey, my PayPal account's locked. I have this harasser. He's donating and charging back, and you can see that there. And they're like, yeah, we do see that, but we need you to prove that this is your account.
So they wanted your license. So they wanted my license.
Yep. They wanted my license that said my full name, which it did not match Kaito Twitch, because that is not, in fact, my name. Luckily, I'm so thankful for PayPal, because the lady who was working with me, I was bawling my eyes out to her. I'm begging this lady. I'm like, please help me. Like, what can I do? And she was like, It's okay, honey. It's okay, darling. Like, we got this. So the funds that I did have in my PayPal, which wasn't very much, I think it was maybe a couple $100. She transferred it to the bank account that was attached to that PayPal. She set me up with a business PayPal where I had my real name, but then it was hidden by the business name, which is now Kaito Twitch. So when people donate, they just see Kaito Twitch, and it hides your email. So now, but I also set up a separate email just for PayPal donations. Like, that is the one and only email that I have for PayPal, and I only use that email for PayPal. That's
so what I'm hearing, and what I did was I created an email, and the name is associated. It's Lamb Chops, and it's my email. I tied that to PayPal, and then I also started my PayPal off with a business account that doesn't have, I think the tax information has my legal name, but it's my DBA, my doing business as Lamb Chops. If you do, and this is just advice, if you do feel like you need to, you can form an LLC with your Twitch persona, your online persona, your aliases, whether it's Twitch or whether it's YouTube, whether it's OnlyFans, whatever.
I don't know the process of doing that. I've thought about it though, just for like business purposes. I feel like it looks more professional. I don't know much about that, but that's a good point. I think for people who are just starting out on Twitch, I think generally just making a separate email and a business PayPal is enough.
And being very careful where you put your name.
Exactly. Change your socials. If I would make, that's another thing. My Instagram originally was, I just had my regular Instagram and my regular Snapchat. I didn't make new ones. I was like, well, this is fine. Like, who's gonna go this far back into my past? But I just realized I had friends tagged, I had locations tagged, things that I had only IRL people looking at now was on broadcast for anybody to see. I eventually did make that Instagram private, and I completely made a whole new Instagram, but that wasn't until this year. I don't know why it took me this long to do that. That was something very poor on my part, that looking back, if there was something I could change, would be to have made new social media for my online stuff.
All brand new. So how he found my information. So it's a little bit, it's interesting. It's very easy now that I look back at it. So my name is very interesting. So I've my first name Sunny, my last name is Sun. That's my name.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't, they see it maybe and they don't believe that's my name.
I was gonna say, it almost doesn't sound real.
It doesn't sound real. I mean, that could be a stage name. So what happened? And I want people to know this, that what this individual did, what my harasser did, was he went to my PayPal and he did a forgot password. So when you do a forgot password, it will say, great, you've forgotten your password. We're going to text your password numbers to this phone number. And it gives the last 4 of your phone number.
Yep.
My PayPal was attached to my old phone number. I was a realtor in Dallas. I had my real estate license. And in Texas, when you have your real estate license, they take your fingerprints, they basically take your blood, and you're plastered on the internet. So it was a little ingenious what he did. But what he did was he knew my first name, Sunny. He knew I lived in Dallas, and he took my last 4 of my phone number, and I've since changed it. And he put that into Google search.
Yeah.
So that brought up my white pages. So then you got my first, middle, last name, the name of my dog, the name of the people that owned the house before me. Right. I mean, it's a plethora of information.
Exactly.
So I've reached out to White Pages, and White Pages has since deleted my information. So I would suggest, steps to take. Do that. Do, your last 4 of your phone number. Google your name. Google your city.
See what pops up and try to backtrack on all those websites and get it deleted and removed if you can. And like I said, that is something that I didn't do when I first started that I should have done. Because I
you don't
I
think
never
of
thought.
it.
You don't think of it. Exactly. It's not
No.
something I think of. And like I said, hindsight's always 20/20 looking back. And then I look at new streamers too. And I go in and like, I see their socials linked to their IRL socials, and I see their PayPal, if you donate, their PayPal goes to their real email. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I could just like shake some sense into these new streamers, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Trust me, learn from my mistakes, learn from what I've been through.
And it's not even new ones. It's I see people that have been doing this a long time, and they've just never come across someone like this. And it just takes one person
oh yeah
to completely derail your life. I mean, so he was, stalking, harassing, bothering, just kind of being annoying. At this point, it was annoying. It wasn't, I didn't feel my safety being threatened, although he did threaten to swat me. I didn't know at that point he didn't know my my name or my address, but he did in World of Warcraft. He did threaten to swat me. So I do want to point out that swatting, a lot of states, a lot of cities, they're not doing no knock warrants. So that means they're not going to bust through your door and swat you. I would, if you have been threatened, to call your local police station, ask about their stance on no knock warrants, tell them your address. You call the non-emergency line. Don't call 911 unless there is an immediate threat, but you call your non-emergency and you make a police report. So if you make a police report, anything that comes through, if somebody swats you, the police will look at all previous calls to that house and all police reports to that house or that address, your apartment, whoever, and they will see all of that info. So they'll see that it is probably, a prank or whatnot.
Right. And you should also, I mean, for myself, what I had to do, obviously, eventually, like I said, hindsight 20/20, after I did, start getting harassed by him, I did tell the police, hey, just so you know, in case you guys get any calls that say I'm doing this or I'm, something horrible like swatting, please call me first. Just know that I am a live streamer and these things do happen, unfortunately, but be aware of that. So don't just come barging in through my door. So I actually don't know if California or like the city I live in has a no knock, whatever you called it. What did you call it?
They do not. They're not doing no knock warrants currently.
No knock warrants. Okay.
No knock warrants. Yeah. So that's just busting in, guns ablazing, and that's the thing I was worried about was my dog. I have a very big dog.
And the thing is that they have the right to, like, if your dog is like coming at them, they have the right to like shoot them, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. So that's what's really scary. My dog is a jumper, and he, like, that to me is horrible. Like, I fear for my dog's life and my family's life. It's scary. It's really scary. And he made those threats all the time to me. He never actually did it, I don't think, but there's people out there that do get swatted. It still happens. I think there was a young woman that just got swatted not that long ago, I think. Just a few days ago.
And there was a gentleman in Kansas. This is a few years ago. This is before I even started on Twitch, I believe. He was in game, I believe. I don't think he was a live streamer, but he got, not him, his neighbor got swatted and actually killed.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was already on Twitch during that time. And that was actually during a time when I was playing, I think it was over Call of Duty, I want to say. Might have been, I think it was Call of Duty. Which is a whole other topic of toxicity in games and whatnot. But yeah, I was playing COD during the time, so that was scary.
That's a good kind of segue of let's talk about some toxicity, in in games. You were a World of Warcraft streamer.
Yes, no longer.
For a long time. I think that's even how we got connected was
through WoW.
Because of WoW.
Yes.
You're not playing WoW anymore.
No, I am not. It's very weird to say because truthfully, like I love World of Warcraft. It's my favorite game. It'll always be my favorite game. It's got a special place in my heart. But when it comes to streaming it and playing it on stream, there is just a level of toxicity in that game that is unmatched with other games. And I know there's so many people online that want to say, no, my game's the most toxic. Have you ever played League? Have you ever played COD? It's way more toxic than that. But in my personal experience, I have never seen so much toxicity in a game before than I do in World of Warcraft. And it's weird because it's almost like it's in game, of course, but it's in the community. It's on Twitter. It's like that it's such a close-knit community. And for it being such a small, close-knit community, there is so much toxicity between people. And the sad part is a lot of it is between girls too. It's really weird. And I don't want to subject myself to that because I already deal with so much with this harasser, everything else. I don't want to deal with like toxic people as well. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've obviously said and made mistakes in my past, of course. But I just don't want to subject myself to being in a community where I feel unwelcomed and not wanted. It doesn't make me feel good.
It's that. So end game, it's that elitist.
Yeah.
There's an elitist mentality.
Oh, yeah.
But you said women. I had an incident about a year ago. We were doing. I used to do something fun with my community, and I want to grow. I want to put myself out there. I want to make friends. Yeah. So I would do something, and I would do hot girl raids.
Ooh.
So I would, That's
something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like, oh, hot girl raid, that's cool. I want to be a hot girl.
Yeah.
And it's not let's carry a hot girl. It's so. It was about it was last year. We were in Nyalotha. I remember specifically what boss we were on, and we had invited these people from a server, Moonguard, which is an RP server.
Oh my gosh, so love Moonguard.
Moonguard. So everybody knows now. If you're not a World of Warcraft or a role play, it's a role play server.
World of Warcraft know what Moonguard is. People like hear of stories at like the Goldshire Inn and Moonguard server.
I wish it was something funny like that. But this girl, this woman, I should say woman. I say girl. I love saying girl, but it's International Women's. I think she was. So I remember what boss we were on, and I am not the best at mechanics. I will say that, and I do say that. And it was a normal, it was just fun. We were playing around. And at this point, I had 70 something viewers. So I don't know if you felt like this in the very beginning, or when you get high numbers, you're really excited. You're maybe nervous. You're talking to chat. You're looking over at chat. And when you look over at chat, you die.
Of course.
That just happens. You probably, it happens in COD as well for you.
Game you play. It's like, if you're not paying attention, any second you're gone.
Exactly. And this woman just said, I don't feel like carrying this e-girl. You're terrible. And then she came to my Twitch chat and I'm not even going to say what she said, but it was just very, I try to empower women and it's not about looks, but hot girl raid. Hey, every girl's a hot girl, just, and even the boys can be hot girls too.
Exactly.
So yeah, the toxicity and I don't know if you know this, but I mean, you probably know this, but I was the Raider IO featured streamer a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was so excited about that.
No, it's amazing for you though. That's super exciting.
It was great, but
did it bring a lot more toxicity with it?
Oh God.
Can I ask you a question? Was it just like a bunch of like rude, jealous men coming in saying like, oh, you're not even good. Why are you featured on this? This is for real good raiders.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't want to say I know their genders, but I'm about 99. Yeah, you can tell.
It usually is. It's very sad, but also, you know, like I said, not just the men. My experience with the toxicity in WoW has always been with women. Sadly enough, it's always been just women tearing down other women. You know, people just not being kind to each other, and that's why I had to leave, because I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to have to deal with it. I've already dealt with so much. I am done dealing with it. I'm not gonna deal with it anymore. I'm just gonna.
In other games, you can just like stop playing the game and then you've left the world. Yeah. Correct? Like, correct. You don't have somebody beside you running around with you, exactly, calling you names.
Exactly, because you can't escape it. Because if you're like, for me, when I play Call of Duty, it's like, okay, I get into a match, toxic people in there screaming at you, yelling at you, saying inappropriate words. Okay, game over, done. I don't see them again. I don't hear from them again. Yeah. But in WoW, where it's like open world, they could just find you, make another character, come find you in game. It's just like repetitive. It's you can't escape it. And that's why for me, I was just like, I can't. And like I said, I love WoW. It'll always have a special place in my heart, but it's just not for me. Not for me right now.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people maybe switching over because, and this is, we didn't talk about talking about this, but the money in end game, maybe PvP, you know, is not there for people. And I've been seeing a lot of people quitting. Oh yeah, because they're doing real money trading.
Yeah, or they're getting banned and because of it. But it's like, if you have to make a living off of it, because if that's your full-time job, if you're saying I am a full-time WoW streamer or WoW content creator or WoW player, if I'm a professional, I should be getting paid like a professional. But in the WoW community, they are not. It is the least paid for, you would think, for how, I get that WoW isn't as big as games like Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever, but it's big enough that I feel like the payout should be way bigger than what it is now. Because for a Call of Duty tournament, which I know it's not a dying game, but it's not as big as it was, I feel like, when it was in its prime years and years ago, like on Xbox 360 and whatnot. You know, it's not a new game, so it's, other games have, you know, surpassed it. But even a basic Call of Duty tournament, like an online Warzone tournament between streamers, just not a professional tournament put together, just an online one, $100,000 payout. What is it for WoW? They if you win BlizzCon, I think, which is like the final of all finals for WoW, I think you go home, like the winner goes home with like maybe 20K. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing for them, and you can't survive off of 20K all year for one whole year.
Split between people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's wild.
It's crazy. I don't know.
So I just don't blame people for wanting to leave, you know, that community. And it sucks because it's such a good game. It's a great game. I love that game, but I just,
it's a beautiful game.
The community is just, it's hard. I totally understand why people make the same decision as me. But I just wanted to quickly bring something up, kind of out of the box, a little random, but it's something I saw on Twitter about refunding subs, about sub refunding. I don't know if anyone has seen this on Twitter. I saw the Twitter account.
I've seen the screenshots.
I knew for just backtrack for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about here. When you sub to somebody on Twitch, and you've always had this, I don't know if you knew this or if other people knew this, but you've always had a 24-hour window to cancel the sub and refund yourself for whatever reason. And people have done that to me, not to be cruel, but I remember specifically I had a really long time loyal viewer who subbed during like a big hype train, and then later came back the next day and I was like, oh my gosh, your sub badge, what happened? And he was like, you know, I didn't realize how tight money was. And of course, you know, he's been a long time viewer. I'm like, oh no, it's no worries at all. Don't even stress. It's all good. But you know, sometimes that happens. You don't realize, you know,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I was totally cool with that. I'm like, oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. I think I gifted him a sub and everything. But now they have an option. Well, you always had to say like, well, why are you refunding the sub? And it was like something. It was something like basic.
I did it on accident.
I don't want to sub to this person anymore. They're random responses. But now there's a response that says, I wanted a shout out. And
I just wanted a shout out.
And now it's like a 10-minute window, I think.
10
10-minute window where you can cancel the sub, get a refund, and put the reasoning being, I just wanted a shout out. And yet Twitch is allowing this. I don't understand this. I think maybe their goal was to get information, like statistics, to see why people are refunding subs. But the fact that they even give that an option is just feeding the trolls. That is putting a giant meal out in front of trolls. That is feeding them. It's, you know how many people, you know how an influx of refunds I feel like are going to come from this?
And I don't know if we know if they're refunds. So we have our sub numbers up. It's, let's just say it's 200 subs, and then we'll stream the next day, and let's say it's 199. Oh, okay. The one from a month ago
fell off.
Dropped off.
You never know, because my sub count fluctuates up and down during streams all the time. I'll go up, I'll go down, I'll go up, I'll go down, because it's people who got gifted or it's people who didn't renew. And so you never know why or who that person is. So if someone were to sub and then it goes up and then 10 minutes later it goes back down, my first instinct isn't, oh, he refunded. It's, oh, a sub from last month fell off. Yep. or whatever.
I'm hoping there's some back end stuff that keeps people from doing it over and over and over again. Maybe there's a
ban. I wonder if they see that
account ban.
Because I know you and this is kind of super random relation, but food ordering apps like DoorDash and stuff, if you have like numerous issues with your food, I know people will do that to get like a refund on their food. If you do it enough times, your account will get banned. Mine hasn't, but I knew somebody who's did. So I'm wondering if it'll be something like that, or you'll lose the privilege of being able to sub to people on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, with me in the retail world, I spent 8 years in retail, and there were people that would abuse. I worked at a place that we had 90 days, no questions asked. Yeah. You know, just bring us a piece of the item, and we'll give you your money back. At some point, there were people that would abuse it. So we'd have to say, I'm sorry, you've abused this. So no, no more refunds.
Think. But I feel like now with this being a new thing, I really feel like the influx of trolls is going to surface. It's going to be a lot of people just doing it for the memes and the lols, you know, people.
So do you think they're going to make specific names? So like, for instance, our harasser would make multiple names a day, at night, every 10 minutes, and he would
addresses or
our addresses. He would follow.
The worst ones for me would be like, my name's Caitlin Brown, guys. It would be like Caitlin Brown murder family, like Brown family murder, like things like that, you know. Yeah. And it pops up obviously on stream, and it's like easily he could just. And before he was doing like a lot of times, when I turned off like follower alerts and stuff, I would have like, you know, my sub alerts obviously, and he would buy like free trial, like Twitch Prime trial things. I don't know how he did it, but he would get a bunch of Amazon Primes. I don't know how he did it, but he was able to get a bunch of Prime subs. I don't know how, but yeah, that's something that like that just gives him more access to be horrendous. And I know a lot of other people have issues with people making like racist names and having it pop up, and it'll say, you know, racial slurs, and that is.
And they'll do it in my chat, and I'm a white woman. I don't condone that stuff is just absolutely horrible. Yeah. Horrible. And we were talking a little bit about this, and we're not really going to get into this, but do you think people just do it because they want to feel edgy and they want to why do people do that?
They like the look of like fear. Like, at least when I hear that word, like I freak out. The thing is that I'm obviously white, and like that word affects me. Like I don't like that word. It hurts me to hear it too. You know what I mean? And would consider myself, I guess, an ally because I'm clearly white. But hearing that word to me, it also triggers me. I don't like hearing that word. It bothers me. And so I think they do it just to see the reaction that, you know, you have when it's dropped, you know, either in your chat or sometimes in game or, you know, whatever. It's them seeing how you react to it, I think.
Which is horrible.
Which is horrible.
And then also there's, I mean, not just for people of color, but there's also homophobic and so many horrible slurs that people use, and they put them in their names.
Yeah.
I and this brings up another point that we didn't talk about, and this is something that I wish Twitch would implement. So we were talking a second ago about how our harasser would make names. So he would make Lamb Chop's sister is on heroin.
Yeah.
Lamb Chop's address is blah blah blah, and he would go through my family members and post my family members' names as followers. So he'd make followers, and it would come up on my screen, and he would never sub, but he would make a new account every 20 seconds. And I wish, and you and I have talked about this in depth, and I've heard other people say that they wish Twitch would implement this too, but I would like to control my channel and control who follows me and when. I would like followers to be older than 10 days or 5 days.
Well, I think because they have that, but the issue, I think what they need to do is it needs to be manual, because the issue is you can put it on followers only mode for a certain amount of time, 10 minutes. So you can have it all the way up for a week, I believe. But then the issue is then there's genuine people that come in and they want to talk. And it's like, well, how do I know this person is a fake account or whatever? So I think being able to actually, well, now that I think about it, I get what you're saying about having follower age, not I mean account age,
age of account,
not follower age. I guess that makes more sense.
Yes, because I went into a woman's chat last night. I'm trying to find more women. After I stream really late. I'm trying to find more women. I went into one woman's chat, and she had she had a lot of viewers. 10 people. That's a lot of viewers. I get a little triggered when people say I'm a small streamer, because 10 people in your chat that's a lot.
That's like the top that's like already the top 3% of Twitch. If you have, I read somewhere, if you have 6 or more viewers,
I tweeted this.
You did. I saw if you have 6 or more viewers, you're in the top 3% of streamers on Twitch. That's insane.
It's insane. Yeah. So people need to stop thinking they're small streamers. But I go into people's chats and I want to talk, and they're followers only, and I'll follow, and then I'll talk. And sometimes you can talk, but sometimes you must follow for 10 minutes
and by that time, a lot of times I've just left. I'm not going to wait around. That's another that's a harmful thing. And it sucks that I had to do that at some points too, which was so harmful for my stream when I was starting out and I had this harasser making 1 million accounts, and I would put it on followers only mode and for 10 minutes. And the worst part is he would wait the full 10 minutes on he would make multiple accounts and just pre-follow so he could get around that. And it's all I was doing was hurting my own stream because of it, because new genuine people couldn't come in and talk. And to me, that was I just took it off, because I was I would rather have genuine people, pop in.
And I lost my train of thought. I do that a lot. I do have ADHD. But I do want to make we're talking about our harasser. I do want to make a point to say that not everyone has the resolution that it's not done yet. It's not over. Not everybody gets the same resolution as us. And we'll talk about this. This is a weekly podcast. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk more in depth about what's going on, with our legal case and what steps we took, because there's so much to unpack about how we found a lawyer, how to get a retainer, how to navigate these processes, because the attorneys are, they cost a lot of money, and it's scary sometimes, thinking back. And I'm glad I had you, and I'm glad we were able to do this together.
And I feel so grateful for that too. And I know I've told you this, and it's 50-50 for me. It's I'm so happy that I have another person who's dealing with it at the same, dealing with the same issues as me, but it's also like I feel so bad because I don't wish this on anybody else. My worst enemy I would not wish this on. And like it's horrible. It's so mentally draining, and I felt so bad that he dragged you into this. But I'm also so grateful because I genuinely don't think I would have received as much recognition and help and justice that I have at this point in time without you. And that's
because I'm like, let's get shit done.
Yeah, you're very proactive, and I think it's also kind of going back to the beginning of what we were talking about before, was that it's been going on for so long, and I heard no so many times that I just was kind of like, when you came to me, you were like, you should do this, and I'm like, no, I'm a girl, you do it, because I've done it and it didn't work for me. I'm like, you do it. And when I saw that you started getting like resolution to, like, you found the lawyer, you found everything, I was like, oh my God, because I had called, I would want to say about 20 lawyers. I called 20 lawyers trying to find somebody. I don't know how you found our lawyer, and I am so glad because she's fantastic and they work really hard, and I'm very grateful for them. But I was like so shocked when you found one that was willing to take our case, because I called so many lawyers and they all said no.
It took a lot. It took a lot, and it's a lot of work, but I'm glad we're here. But about mental health, I mean, I don't know about you, but at one point when he leaked my address, I was in bed for 3 days, and I
feel violated.
Trigger warning, I didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah.
Like I literally was thinking, how do I not live anymore?
Yeah. No, it's horrible. And honestly, just like I said, I would not wish this on my greatest enemy, because it is so horrible, and it just makes you feel so, it's like the life is like sucked out of you. It's the only way I can explain it. It feels like life gets sucked out of you, and no matter what you do, you can't get it resolved, especially for me.
And when I would look at you, I don't know if I've talked about this, but when I would look at you, I remember seeing you tweet about a harasser, but I thought, how bad can it be?
Yeah, that's usually what people say. Just ignore him.
It's just ignore him. He'll go away.
Yeah.
He'll go away. It's fine. How bad can it
really be? Yeah. People don't realize it until it happens to them. They
no.
As an onlooker, it doesn't look, it's like, well, just ignore it. Like it's just ban him. Just ban him. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand it till you are in that position, how horrible it is. And my family knows. I had so many nights of just mental breakdowns and talking to like I said, my loved ones and my friends. It's like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I took so many breaks from streaming. I was like, I don't want to be a streamer anymore. I don't want to do this. I can't subject my family to this either. Getting calls nonstop, a crazy man screaming. Like I can't subject my friends to this, my own friends. And like I said, my boyfriend at the time, and I don't blame him for this, but I felt very alone, because a lot of people who were my close friends or my boyfriend at the time not that they didn't want to help, but they were scared to get too involved because they were scared that it would happen to them. And like I said, I don't blame them at all whatsoever. Obviously in the time I felt, hurt and so alone, because it's like, I what do I do? It's like, I need a support system, but I also don't want to subject my friends and family to this as well, because I know what it's like to go through that, and I can't have them going through that as well.
The fact that people, I don't blame people at all, but the fact that people said, I don't want to help because I'm scared of this man.
Yeah.
I mean, you shared with me a few people, and I'm just like, man, I cannot believe this strong woman or this strong man, this individual that is amazing, is scared of this person.
Yeah. It's crazy, because you think like it's just the internet, like there's nothing to be afraid of, it's just online. But when you're a streamer and things are online and things are going great, that's amazing. But once that line has been breached of going into your personal life, and it's like you can't escape it. I come on Twitch to stream to escape. This is my go-to fun time. It's obviously now my job, but that's like, I've got my online world and then I've got my real life world, and I do my best to keep them separated just to keep my mental health intact. But once that line's been breached and someone crosses over that, and they make a point to continuously cross over it, it's like a flood. And it just, like you said, like you were saying, you just at one point you were like, I don't even want to live anymore, because it's like,
yeah,
because he's invaded that privacy and that part of you.
Because he sent pizzas to my home. I mean,
during COVID too. It's
during COVID, pizzas. He has my address.
What's going to be next? You know,
what's next? Yeah. What's next?
It's horrible.
And that was the scariest thing for me, was what's next?
Yeah.
The internet is so big and it's so scary. People do some scary things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what's next? And I think people need to know. People need to know, thankfully you and I we have not gotten swatted. Yeah. We have not had our safety really threatened. We've not felt an immediate threat of someone outside our house.
Right. And I know there's other streamers, like I think one of the biggest ones was Sweet Anita, whose stalker literally was at her house, like outside of her house. And that to me is just, it's mind-boggling. It's crazy.
I feel so sorry for her. And she's one of the sweetest people you watch. I mean, I don't know. It really
happen to anybody. Exactly. You never know. And that's what I'm saying, is that there's big streamers that deal with this, and then there's smaller streamers, like I'm talking, smaller than us, like people who have 4 viewers on Twitch who have issues like this, and it deters them away from wanting to pursue this and quit. And it sucks, because it's like, I get it, I totally get that, but at the same time, it's like, here we are, we've had probably some of the worst things happen to us that can possibly happen to you on Twitch,
but it doesn't touch what could happen.
It's the surface. Yeah. But I feel grateful. Like I said, it sucks that it did happen to us, but I do feel grateful to be in a position where we can sit and talk about this and try to help people and give tips and advice on what you can do to protect yourself.
So we do have some questions.
Okay.
Do you want to go into a couple? I've gotten a couple of questions.
Okay.
Would you like to touch on any of these? Okay.
Let's hear it.
What is the craziest thing I've experienced on Twitch?
The craziest thing I've experienced? Oh my gosh. The craziest thing I have experienced, I want to say, like, so aside from my harasser, obviously that to me is probably the craziest thing. But aside from that, because I've talked about him so much, just another tidbit. There was a time when I was playing, I can't remember what game I was playing. I think I was playing CSGO. I was like a CSGO streamer at the time. I had a viewer who came in, and he was part of my stream for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. And he would come to every stream, and he was very kind, very nice, gained my trust, was a nice guy during the time. And essentially it was a plot for 3 weeks. He plotted to be my friend and gain my trust, to put a link in my chat. So it was like an IP grabber. So he put it in my chat, grabbed my IP, and shut off my internet like the whole night. And to me, that was also kind of at the beginning of my streaming, my harasser at the time was around-ish. Like, he was still there, but not as heavy as it had been in the last year or so. But so this to me was like super crazy, because it's like I felt violated, like, oh my gosh, someone's actually like intact with my computer, my internet. Like, that was really scary for me, and I had to change my IP address and do all that. But that's probably one of the craziest things that's happened to me, is the fact that it wasn't just like a random person that came in and did it and put a link in my chat. It was like someone who tried to purposely gain my trust. Like, I played with this person, we were in Discord together. Like, I thought this was a cool viewer, a cool person, a part of my community, and he just turned out, he was like, no, I just did it for the lulz. I was just trying to that's what he said. I asked him, I was like, why'd you do this to me? He's like, I just felt like it.
The lulz. L-U-L-Z, right?
Z's for the lulz. That's what he said. So I think that's probably one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me, which, other than the whole harasser thing. But what about you?
That's my craziest thing.
Harasser.
I mean, honestly, or being able to stream a video game full time. quitting my job.
That's a good thing. That's like a
It's
fun
a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. So there's another question that is a little interesting. I think we'll go through maybe two more. There's two more, but there are also a lot of questions that pertain to our legal battle, and I think we can cover those the next week.
Okay, but we can do those next time.
There's one that is sticking out to us. What are your thoughts about making a community aware of the issue versus keeping private? I know there were some claims of benefiting from the quote unquote drama.
Oh wow, interesting.
And that's an interesting question. It's an interesting take. The drama was someone was harassing us. Yeah. I mean, and
it's not drama. That's my life.
It's not drama. It's not drama. And you know, in the heat of the moment, you don't know how to navigate all of this stuff. Maybe it's dramatic from the outside looking in, seeing Chad and seeing you cry. You know, I cried multiple times. But I mean, as far as the money goes, me, for instance, I mean, I had a full-time job. I just was hit with about $6,000 in medical bills prior to this happening, and I still have not paid them off. I'm in debt. I mean, I have credit card bills. I have debt, which I talk about that. I'm not afraid to share that. And then this happened, and then we needed to raise $7,500 Canadian, which was $5,000, 5,000 something dollars. I know that I, with family's help, was able to put in a little bit of my own money. We raised $2,225. You personally put in your own money, and we've not talked about this, and you've not put it out there.
No, I haven't. Yeah, because I don't really feel the need. I did put in a big chunk of it, obviously what you put in, and then the 2,200, and I basically filled in the rest, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
With your own money.
Yes, my own money. Yes, correct. And I think of it, I look at it like, you know, you said earlier, before he was harassing you, you were like looking at it from your perspective. You're like, oh, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. That's how you saw it before you were involved. So I think that's how other people see it too. They look from the outside and they think, well, it can't be that bad. Like, you guys are making such a scene about it. Why you're constantly crying about it on Twitter, and this person, it's like, just get over it. Just block him, move on. But I'm like, no, you do not understand. And here's the thing. I'm pretty good at accepting criticism where criticism can be, you know, if it's something that I know true to my heart that I'm like doing the right thing, then I don't care I don't care if people criticize me. I don't care, because I know in my heart, like, what this man has done to me, what he's done to my family, what he's done to my friends. I know that it needs to be taken care of, and I'm sorry, but the squeaky wheel gets the grease. It does. Yeah. And that's the only way that I really ended up getting the help that I needed was from being loud about it on Twitter, crying about it, reaching out to people. Help me, please. Somebody help me. Anybody help me. This is what's going on to me. Yeah. You know, and I think people can criticize that if they want, and they can get annoyed and they can unfollow and whatever. If they don't like it, that's fine.
But at the end of the day, what we're hoping is to use this negative thing that has happened, this drama. I mean, I don't see it as drama. I see it as something in my life that made me want to end my life. Yeah. That's not drama.
Not at all.
I saw a therapist. You know, before I left my job, I almost lost my job because of it. Right. But no, I mean, it's not drama, and we're hoping to bring more. We're using this as a way to hopefully show that life happens after harassment. Life happens after bullying. Yeah. And online, and our lawyer said there's not a lot there's not a lot of previous cases. Um, so,
kind of like a pioneer for the way of online harassment and bullying.
Exactly.
So,
and as far as the money goes, like I briefly touched this, but we got an email from our lawyers, Friday of last week, we got $300 left in our retainer. And we still have
whatever else we have to pursue with it. And we're going to have to come up with that money as well,
And hopefully it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be as much as it was. Hopefully we're at the tail end of it. But lawyers are expensive. Yeah. Our partner is $400 an hour and our associate is $200 an hour. So I think that's 45 minutes of work, basically.
The criticism of saying that we're profiting off of it, to me, is just it's not factual. That's incorrect. No. If anything, I'm losing money on this situation. But it's like, it needs to be done.
I'm pouring money into it.
Yeah, I'm pouring money into it. And I haven't really seen an influx of viewership really from it. I mean, our story, sorry, I should say ours, because you are now involved too, with the articles that were written and stuff, it did gain a lot of traction. My YouTube did get a lot of traction, not my Twitch, my YouTube definitely, but I'm not monetized on YouTube. I don't make any. People are like, you're doing this for the clout, you're doing this for the money, and it's like, I got a lot of those comments on my YouTube video, and I was like, I don't think you understand. I'm not monetized on YouTube. I don't make any money from this video. It's just for awareness.
If I could go back in time and be friends with you and be close to you without this happening, I wish I wasn't harassed. I wish I wasn't bullied. Yeah. But it's hard because I've gotten a lot of messages from people, and I'm sure you have, that have been terrorized by this person in particular, saying thank you.
Yeah.
And big streamers.
Oh my gosh, so many messages. I'm kid you guys not. Like, I'm not even exaggerating just to say this. When I tell you, I've gotten at least 10 different people being like,
same.
I am so. One girl in specific, like, who I will still keep anonymous because she has asked to be anonymous. She has messaged me multiple times. She was like, I don't think you understand. Like, this man gives me, like, I have PTSD from this man. Like, he has harassed me in my community, and like, I was too scared to do something about it, and he eventually left me alone. But like, I have been too scared to comment on your stuff out of fear that he will come back. And she's like, I am so glad that something's being done about it, and once it's all finished, she's like, I will then come out and talk about it. But she's like, thank you so much for being the face of it, because it does suck being the face of a huge lawsuit like this. Is like, it's hard because people are, like you said, people are gonna have their opinions and criticize you for certain things, but it's scary. It really is scary, but it needs to be done. Somebody needs to do it if you want change to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whew. Well,
that was a lot.
Yeah, that was kind of a lot, I feel like, to dive into, but that's kind of just, like you said, scratching the surface of everything we'd like to discuss and talk about on this podcast.
I want to, so we've been talking a little bit about, our tea.
Yes.
Our tea.
The tea of Twitch and gaming.
Tea of Twitch. It's not to talk about drama. It's not for clout. It's just tea is usually it's a gossip.
Yeah.
A gossip. And we want to spin this, and we want to have our positivity. That's kind of where we love our tea. We love the word. We love the phrase. But Kaity and I have been talking. I know we're about to wrap up because it's been about an hour, but good conversations. Yeah. We want to. This is our first podcast, of course, so we're gonna learn and we're gonna grow as we go. But we want to shout out someone. We have a positivity segment. There's a woman that I found recently on Twitter. I find all my people on Twitter. But I'm gonna shout her out in my chat, and Kaity may do the same.
Yes, I can. I will copy it from yours.
There is a woman that stream. She's on Twitch. her name is Tiffany, and her at is Tiffany Witcher, like The Witcher.
I love that show and that game, by the way.
I've never played it.
Oh my gosh, it's good.
But she streams. She's on her path to partner, as us affiliates love to be on our path to partner achievement. But I watched her stream the other day, and she's so sweet. But she does a lot of charity streams, and I think she's working with lupus, the Lupus Foundation. I saw a couple other charities. I don't want to misspeak, but I know she's raised over $20,000 for charity, and that's amazing in itself. I mean, I did a charity stream and I made $25.
Yeah.
So
that's wild. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and she's not even a partner.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So
that's good. She's using her platform for something that she believes in and stands for. I think that's fantastic.
Something good. So that's like our positivity for the podcast. And if this is on to or Spotify, I don't know where we're going to put this, but if this is on Spotify, it's twitch.tv/Tiffany Witcher.
All one word.
All one word. Yep. She's so sweet. Go give her a follow. And she doesn't know we're doing
I don't think she has any clue.
No. But go give her a follow. She just seems like a sweet person.
Yeah. But I think that pretty much wraps up this week and our very first episode.
Yay!
Grab a cup of tea.
Grab a cup of
Potato
tea
and lamb chops.
I need to get more tea. But if you do want to submit questions for next week, we will have the links below. We'll have them in our chat. So
on Twitter, we'll make sure the Google Doc is everywhere.
And it is anonymous. But Katie, thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. I'm having so much fun with this. I hope to see progress with ourselves and our issues, and also progress with other people. So, and I hope talking about it helps.
Yes, and the link will be the same. It's just going to be an ongoing link. Yes. So just ask questions, bookmark it, ask questions every single week.
All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you
see you
so
guys
much.
Next week.
I will see y'all next week. Same time, same place.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye, guys.